2, Bed Bath & Bong's here. Thank you for joining me. Merry Christmas to everybody. I hope it was great. I hope you got everything you wanted, or at least close to everything you wanted. And I hope you and your family had a great time. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening in our country right now, between bombs going off in Nashville, everybody getting coronavirus. It's a hard time. It's a hard time. And again, I hope everyone's safe, and God bless. And thank you for joining me. Let's go ahead and start off with our ritual dab. Right now I'm smoking on some Hawaiian haze, but last night someone gifted me, a friend and family really, Michael. He gave me what appears to be a gram or so of sugar wax. So I've never smoked sugar wax before, but it does seem to be a popular item at dispensaries. I would forget to put water in this, wouldn't I? Screw up, hold on. Plan on releasing some videos today. I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna release my video on Che Guevara, on his life and his, what's the word? On his life and his many achievements. As you can see, that's what the sugar wax looks like. Kind of looks like a juicier crumble. Look at that bad boy. Look at that bad boy right there. Ooh-wee. Oh man, sugar wax is actually really nice. It kind of smokes like crumble. It has sort of like that crumbly taste, but a little different. Very sweet. It does sort of have a gritty sugar-like texture, so I kind of get where the name comes from. Overall, very nice. And I would say it's a little higher quality, than your average like Venom Shatter. It's very nice. Well, yeah, now that we have that little mini review of the sugar wax done, good, really fucking like that. Let's go ahead and get to some news stories that I wanted to cover today. This first one, it's not really political in nature in any way, but I did think it was interesting. There was this movie that came out, I'm going to say like 2012? I'll look right now, obviously. But there was this movie called Party Monster with Macaulay Culkin and Seth Green, and it was about like the gay '90s club drug scene. And a particularly famous, I don't know, I guess he was a writer, maybe. I'm not really sure. I don't remember what he did in his off time. His off time. Beyond drugs and clubs and partying and being sort of ridiculous. Well, let me pull up that story. Yeah, unfortunately, the real life person behind that movie, Michael something or other, he passed away. I think it was either last night or this morning. It was a suspected heroin overdose. Someone with some pretty intense drug problems in the past. It's sad. It's not too surprising. This is courtesy of TMZ.com. Club Kids co-founder dead at 54 years old. Authorities suspect heroin overdose. Michael Alig, the wild club promoter, I guess he was just a crazy club promoter, who served time for killing a man who was a subject of the movie Party Monster, has died. Authorities believe the cause of death was a heroin overdose. Law enforcement sources tell TMZ a friend dropped by Michael's New York City home just after midnight and found him dead in his bed. Our law enforcement sources say they found empty vials and other containers on the bed, and they believe they found heroin. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Michael was notorious in the 90s club scene, his life displayed in the 2003 flick starring Macaulay Culkin. Michael was a co-founder of the Club Kids, a group comprised of a bunch of young folks whose lives revolved around clubs in the late 80s and 90s. It was definitely a thing. As for Michael, his nickname was the King of Drug-Addled Club Kids. He had a troubled life. In 1996, he killed a drug dealer named Andre Angel Melendez, dismembered his body, and threw it in the waters off Staten Island. He served 17 years in prison and was released in 2014. Michael was 54 years old. Hot take on Mr. Alig. I can't judge him too harshly for the murder of Mr. Melendez. I mean, it's definitely not justified. Just because, he was really high on drugs and the guy happened to be a dealer of said drugs. And he has his story. The other guy, he's dead, so we're not quite sure what his story is, too. So, that being said, he did serve his 17 years in prison, and from what I understand, he's not normally a violent person, other than that incident. So maybe it was just too many drugs. And again, which seems to be a recurring problem in Michael Alig's life, he again had too many drugs. And it is suspected that he's overdosed on heroin and has passed away. So rest in peace. So our next story is pretty intense. It's full on camping. That's how intense it is. Enjoy that, those of you out there who don't want to kill him. But yeah, has to do with this explosion. For those of you who may have heard, there was this RV that was wired up with explosives that was detonated in downtown Nashville, Tennessee. And as a result, it affected communications both in Tennessee and Kentucky. That's how wide-ranging this one explosion was. I guess it was just put in the perfect spot to cause maximum damage. And it is pretty intense. I'll have some pictures up here for you guys to see. It was a pretty huge explosion. I'll go ahead and read the story. As you can hear, they had a PR system going off, warning people to evacuate the area. It's coming from the RV with the explosives in it. very loud, blaring, telling people that it was going to self-detonate. Um, and then shortly before that happened, people heard gunshots going off. And that's what prompted police to show up in the first place, as they got reports of gunfire. And they showed up to this RV with its loud-ass PA system going off, repeating, "Evacuate the area, going to detonate in 15 minutes." The cops took that pretty seriously, and they were right to, because look what happened. It's kind of like that story that they made, that sort of shitty movie. I don't know, I couldn't get into it anyways. About the poor pizza delivery guy who had the explosive collar around his neck. And the police weren't even able to help him. His head, you can find footage online of this guy's head just exploding with the collar on. And that was pretty sad. They took him a really long time to get any info on that case whatsoever. It's exactly why the fuck and who the fuck put that collar on him. So, yeah, let's go ahead and dive in. This is from Associated Press. Downtown Nashville explosion knocks communications offline. Written by Kimberly Cruesi, Michael Balsamo, and Eric Tucker. Recreational vehicle parked in the deserted streets of downtown Nashville exploded early Christmas morning, causing widespread communications outages that took police emergency systems and grounded holiday travel at the city's airport. Police were responding to a report of shots fired Friday when they encountered the RV blaring a recorded warning that a bomb would detonate in 15 minutes. Metro Nashville Police Chief John Drake said. Police evacuated nearby buildings and called in the bomb squad. The RV exploded shortly afterward, Drake said. This morning's attack on our community was intended to create chaos and fear in the season of peace and hope. But Nashvillians, I guess it's people from Nashville, it's kind of funny because Nashvillians, it kind of looks like Nashvillans. Those goddamn Nashvillans. Dude, it's one particular Nashvillian who's fucking going around setting off fucking RV bombs, apparently. Proven time and time again that the spirit of our city cannot be broken, Mayor John Cooper said at a news conference. Police believe the blast was intentional, but don't yet know a motive or target, and Drake noted that officials had not received any threats before the explosion. The chief said investigators at the scene have found tissue that we believe could be remains, but we'll have that examined and we'll let you know at the time. So they found what they believe are human remains at the scene. So perhaps the gunshots that went off, maybe somebody, saw a man fleeing from the RV, tried to stop a man from the RV, shot them. Or maybe the guy who parked the RV blew his own brains out. So, who knows? Surveillance video published on a Twitter account Friday appeared to be across the street from the blast. Captured the warning issuing from the RV. If you can hear this message, evacuate now, seconds before the explosion. The blast sent black smoke and flames billowing from the heart of downtown Nashville's tourist scene, an area packed with honky-tonks, restaurants, and shops. Buildings shook and windows shattered streets away from the explosion near a building owned by AT&T that lies 1 block from the company's office tower, a landmark in downtown. We do not know if that was a coincidence or if that was the intention, police spokesman Don Aaron said. The AT&T said the affected building is a central office of a telephone exchange with network equipment in it. The FAA temporarily halted flights out of Nashville International Airport because of the telecommunication issues. This is being investigated by the FBI and the ATF.
Okay, so what are we drinking?
Tennessee Governor Bill Lee said on Twitter that the state would provide the resources necessary to determine what happened and who was responsible. The American Red Cross of Tennessee announced it was working with officials to open a shelter for victims. So people whose homes were damaged or destroyed, in this blast. The American Red Cross is out there to help you, so please contact them. Yeah, that's crazy. It just goes to show you how interconnected everything is in this country. One blast can affect stuff in several different states. That is absolutely amazing, and kind of scary. So yeah, if any of you out there ever hear a loud recorded message coming from a vehicle saying it's gonna blow up, fucking listen to it and leave. But yeah, I'll probably be recording another Bong commentary or two today. But that's what I have to show you this morning. I did upload the one I did yesterday. For those of you who may be confused, so that is up to watch already. You can watch that down below. One other thing that I did want to talk about, just a real quick hot take. I wanted to talk about this music group that I've been listening to for years. They're already big, so it's not like they need me to come out and say they're awesome. They're already getting Musician of the Year recommendations from a lot of different sources. But there's someone I've been listening to before people knew who they were. So RT&J, Run the Jewels, dope as fuck, man. And their new album, really awesome. It's already one of their songs have already soaked in the mainstream. Ooh La La. A little repetitive, but I gotta say overall, pretty dope song, dope music video. Check it out. Great album. Really, a great group in general. And at the risk of being copyright blocked, I don't think they will because they're pretty chill, but who knows? Who knows? Because I think they do work for a big record company, so we'll see. I'm going to play some Ooh La La while I take our final dab of the video. So enjoy. One day, One day, the long-fought battle between humanity and the forces of greed and division will end. And on that day, finally free, we will throw a motherfucking party. I need a bottle of Moet. Garçon!
It wasn't supposed to be nothing. Y'all fuckers going up to something disgusting. Pockets of comfort and season, I love the couple. I'm afraid of nothing but nothing. This ain't it something. Warmongers are dumping, a point and click at your pumpkin. You'll suffer instructions to push your kids in the oven. Fuck the king or queen and all of their laws sucking. I pull my penis out and I piss on they choose to public. People we the...
Yeah, dope ass fucking song. Dope group, dope album. Never heard an album that was bad. There are some that are better than others, but I cannot recommend them highly enough. They definitely deserve the title. Again, thank you for watching. Everybody have a good night.